I don't know about you guys. I have felt zero motivation this week. It's crazy. It is winter. It is truly winter. I just think that we are meant to be hibernating right now. I think, we're mammals and we should be hibernating. Like, what else is there even to do? Um, the sun is setting. It's 5. It's setting. That's how winter works. It's mid-January, so the sun is down at 5:30, and I don't like that at all. It's not very cold. It's finally kind of cooling off in LA. So it's been like in the 50s. That's pretty cool for LA for sure. Um, but I hadn't even, I mean, it got a little cooler in like November, December. Why am I talking about the weather? That's the most boring thing I could possibly be talking about. But there's no sun. We get sun during the day. It's not like gloomy all the time like England or the Pacific Northwest or something. It's not raining. It's not snowing. But it's not sunny at night. And that okay. I miss the sun. I miss the sun. I miss my motivation. I felt so like a week ago. I was like so motivated. I had so many things I wanted to do. All pent up after. Well, kind of. A week and a half ago. I came back after holiday times, being out of the house and being like, oh my God, okay, now I'm so motivated. Like, I've been away from home. I've been working on stuff. I was building up so much momentum, all the videos I was posting and projects I was doing. And like, I did come home and start a project. And then with the wildfires, I had to evacuate for a few days. I stayed a little longer away than I necessarily had to, like than the evacuation order lasted. But I was like, I'm going to stay away from the smoke, be safe for a little bit. But anyway, I came back with some motivation and it like fizzled out fast. Like this week, I have just not known what to do. Yesterday, a couple days ago, I like rearranged everything in my room. So, okay, I've done something. I've not been, totally unproductive. I rearranged my entire fucking room. But I have not really wanted to keep sewing the blazer project that I started a video on that I hope to finish this month. I had an idea last night for a way that I want to upcycle those pants I bought. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. And then I didn't do it last night because it was late. And I didn't do it today, even though I felt like I wanted to. And I was like, I don't want to do anything. I guess I'll just read. And then I read a few pages and I was like, that's enough for now. Last night I just was having floor time. I was just laying on the floor. I was like, man, you know what? I just can't do anything. I gotta leave the house. I don't feel like doing anything here. And so I went out and I went to a pinball tournament and that was great. I had a fun time. It was nice to just do something and not just lay around doing nothing, you know? My mom likes to quote Winnie the Pooh and say, out of nothing comes the very best something. And I try to remember that because being an artist, being a professional creative, being the only person in my company, it's just me and I have to motivate myself entirely. It all has to come from inside. There are times where I'm like super motivated and I have so many ideas and I want to do them all at once. And in those times, I come up with extra ideas. And then when I have times like these, I'm like, hey, how about all those extras? How about all those extra ideas, that I have in my notes app, that I have on papers and sketchbooks and whatever, how about we work on those right now? But it's like, no, when I'm motivated, I'm doing stuff and I have more ideas and I'm just, rolling in it. And then when I have these times where I feel low motivation, it's not because I'm not in the middle of something. Like there are some projects I've started and not finished, they're staring back at me in my closet and on my walls and whatever. But I don't feel motivated for one thing or another thing. I just have these times where, people might be like, well, that sounds like depression. And it's funny because like, for me, I know what depression feels like for sure. And this for me is more of a transition period. That's what I have right now. That's what I've gone through plenty of times where it's kind of between things and stuff is up in the air. And I'm like, I can't sink my teeth into anything because it's just time to shift, And I think I deserve to give myself more grace, and I hope other people do as well at this point, because it is a shift. It's a time in the world where things are shifting. And I just want to, I've made progress this week. I've made my room more comfortable, and I've made it more of what I want it to be. And granted, I haven't felt inspired, but I need to not let that get to me and not think, well, it's because I changed my room and now it no longer inspires me. Like, that's not how it works. And, I know myself. I know I do this a lot. I know that I have times when I am really motivated and I just have a million ideas and I'm doing them all. And I have times like these where I just don't feel called to anything at all. And the worst thing I can do in one of these situations is like force myself into the former version of me. Granted, sometimes I can say, all right, if you can't do this whole thing, just do one thing, and that is positive. I do one thing, feel better. And like, I did the work I need to, sold a few things online, took them to the post office, that's all good. Made a few new things, took some pictures, and posted new items, but I don't feel called to finish my project. I don't feel called to start a new one. I just have to accept myself here, I just let myself do nothing. If doing nothing looks like just going out and taking a really long walk or going somewhere, then that's fine. If I'm able to do the things I need to, it's okay if I'm not firing at all cylinders. And I think a big part of that as a creative is trusting myself. That those periods of times, like a week and a half ago, where I'm just buzzing. I got so many ideas and I'm doing them all and I'm feeling great. They come and go. And I mean that in a good way, not a bad way. I mean that in a way that I feel very inspired a lot. I've honestly, more than half of the time, I really do feel inspired. I'm working on a lot of stuff. And I'm not sitting around, banging my head against the wall saying, why can't I do something? I'm not in that level, but it's more like nothing is pulling me towards it. And as an artist, I just need to go with the whims. And I think that especially people who create to any capacity in any form, but also to everyone, but especially people who create, we have input periods and we have output periods. And we're always somewhere on that scale. And sometimes I'm like really far on output. And other times I'm just soaking in what's around me. And there's nothing wrong with that. We couldn't have an output period without an input period. And it's like when I was in like high school and I would need to write an essay, I'd be racking my brain. And then if I went on a walk, it's like, oh, I know what to write. It would like come to me. And I know a million, books and speakers and whatever have already said that, step away from the project, change your environment, look at things from another direction. I remember when I was like in school, in elementary school or something, we went to this thing where it was like Thomas Jefferson, I want to say. Thomas Edison. Very different people. Not Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Edison. I think it was like a guy impersonating him. And I remember still, and I think I may have already said this in a YouTube video, but I'm saying it again. I remember him saying, look at things from another direction. Like he did that with his hands. And that was the point. It was like, if you're trying to solve a problem and it's not working, just look at it from a different angle, And I think that something like this, if I'm trying to solve the problem of motivation, if I'm, nothing's coming to me, step away. Don't just stare at the same supplies wondering why they're not turning into something before my eyes, why my hands aren't rushing towards my stacks of fabric and materials and ideas and paintings and everything. So anyway, thanks for watching this rant if you got through it. And in conclusion, if you are feeling similar to this whatsoever, if you are also feeling like you'd like to be a bear and hibernate, and that your room or your home or your space is very comfortable and you just want to spend time there, or you just want to leave, or you just can't really seem to start or finish any of your projects right now, be nice to yourself. That's okay. You don't have to finish them right now. And a time of inspiration and motivation and productivity will come very soon. just as spring will come, we're part of nature, and there's different seasons. So be kind to yourself.